Hello CI scholars. This is Shraddha Vaghani, your maths educator from Countryside International School. I hope you have done your task of memorizing Roman numerals till 10. So today we are just going to see Roman numerals in large numbers. Let's start. Just moving on to the rules that we did. Rules for the Roman numerals is they have I for 1, V for 5, X for 10 and L for 50. This you will have in their higher standards, that is in your 5th standard or so. Okay. The first rule is repetition means addition. The second rule says that in repetition also you have to repeat it only for 3 times consecutively. And 1 and 10, that is I and X, can be repeated, but 5 and 50, that is V and L, will never be repeated. Okay. The example for 1 and X can be repeated for 3 times only are 3 I's will give me 3. Then for 8, we have a symbol which is 5 plus 3. Here also I am repeating 3 times and I am repeating only I. Here I am repeating X for 3 times. So the rule is valid here. The next example, for 4, I am repeating I for 4 times. So it is not valid. For 9 also we cannot have this symbol because 1 is repeated for more than 3 times. For 14 we don't have this symbol because I is repeated 4 times. And for this statement which says that 5 and 10, that is V and L, never be repeated, we have an example that V plus V, that is 5 plus 5, will not give me 10. For 10, they have another symbol, that is X. And in the same manner, you cannot represent 100 as 50 plus 50. Okay. For 100, you have another symbol that you will study in higher standards. But here, just remember that L and V will never be repeated. The next rule is when small numerals are on the left side of bigger numerals, subtract it. In our simple language, when you move from small to bigger number, you have to subtract it. Have a look on example, students. Here I have 1, that is small number, and then 10, that is big number. I am moving from small number to big number, so I'll subtract 1 from 10. That will give me 9. Clear? Here I have small number 1 and big number 5. I'm moving from small number to big number, so I'll subtract 1 from 5, which will give me 4. Here also I have X, that is 10, and then L, that is 50, which is placed to the right side of smaller number. So we are moving from small to big, so we will subtract 10 from 50. It will give me 40. Clear with it? The next rule is when small numbers are on the right side of bigger numbers, add them. So in our language, when we move from big to small, you have to simply add them. Have a look on the examples. The example first, we have 10, that is X, and 1, that is I. 10 is bigger and 1 is smaller. I am moving from bigger to smaller, so I'll add it and that will give me 11. Then in the next example, we have 5, then bigger 1 and 1, that is smaller 1. So I'll add it. 5 plus 6 plus 7. Okay, 5 plus 1 plus 1. It will give me 7. And then there are 3 I's, and that means repetition means addition. So it will give me 3. 3 here. It is 3 here. Okay. The last rule is 0 has no symbols. During Roman period, there was no introduction of 0. 0 was not invented then. So they had no symbol for 0. Okay. Now we will see that how we will write numbers into Roman numerals. And then we will have a look on how we convert Roman numerals into numbers. The first example is 18. 18 is in the Hindu-Arabic system. And now I have to convert it into Roman numerals. So what I'll do first is, I will have the expanded form of the number. What is it? It is 10 plus 8. Okay. 8 is again expanded as 5 plus 1 plus 1 and 1. So having representation of this digit in the Roman numerals, I'll have 10, X for 10, V for 5, I for 1, I for 1 and I for 1. I'll combine this symbol to represent 18. Clear? The next example is 25. First what I'll do is I'll have expanded form, that is 10 plus 10 plus 5. Because I have symbols for this in the Roman numeral, I expand them in the same ways. For 10 I have X, for 10 I have X, and for 5 I have V. I'll combine them to get my answer as 25. Hope getting, students. The third one is 34. For 34, first we'll have the expanded form, which is 10 plus 10 plus 10 and 4. Okay. As I told you, you have to remember the Roman numerals from 1 to 10. That will help you to make other Roman numerals up till 39. Okay. So for 4, if you remember the symbol, it is 1 less than 5, or it is 1 and V, I and V. For 10, you have X. For 10, you have X. For 10, you have X. And for 4, it is I and V. So compiling them or combining them, it will give me 34. Coming to the next question, that is converting of Roman numerals to numbers. Now in the question, I will be given Roman numeral and I have to convert it into number. So my first step would be dividing the Roman symbols differently. Okay, I'll separate them. First of all, for X I have 10, for V I have 5, for I have 1, for I have 1. And then I'll add them because they are being placed in such ways. 10 plus 5 plus 1 and 1. That will give me 10 plus 7, which is to be 17. So this Roman numeral is represented as 17 in nowadays Roman number system. The second question is X and X, and then again X and I. So I'll divide them as X for 10, X for 10, and X for 10, and I for 1. So it will give me 30 plus 1, that is 31. Clear? The next question is, we will separate it and represent each symbol for the number. X for 10, X for 10, and I for 1, and X for 10. Now, just by looking at this number, I can say that this I is smaller than this 10. So I'm moving from small number to big number. So what I'll do is, I'll subtract here. Here, we were moving from big number, that is 5, to small number. So we were just adding, because everywhere we are moving from big number to small number. See, 10, 10, 10 and 1. Bigger number than smaller number. So you'll add it up. Here also bigger number and smaller number. So you'll add it up. But here in between there is a smaller number. So I have to subtract here. Okay. It gives me to be 10 plus 10 and 9. If you remember the Roman numerals from 1 till 9, you will just have the idea that 1x is 9. 20 plus 9, and that will give me to be 29. Clear with it, students? Roman numerals up till 50, you can make it by using I, V, X. Okay. See, these are the various combinations you have. For 20, for 10 you have X, then for 11 you have X and 1. In the same manner, you have 20 for double X, and 30 we have 3 consecutive X. And if you repeat the pattern, you may say that, ma'am, for 40 also you will have 4 times X. But students, this will violate our first rule. What's the first rule we had? It said that any symbol should not be repeated for more than 3 times consecutively. So 40 cannot be represented in this manner. Okay, so for that they had another symbol for 40 which was represented in terms of 50. This is the new symbol, but this symbol and the other digits you will study in the higher standards. I hope it is clear with you. Okay, Roman numerals are not used today. Why? Because it had some limitations. What were the limitations are? They didn't have any symbol for 0. Okay, so there was no fraction possible, and the symbols were used for easy addition and subtraction only. Other mathematical operations were very difficult to be done with the use of Roman numerals. Okay, so they are not used today. Today we use the numbers which are from Hindu-Arabic system. But Roman numerals do play their role. They have some important place in our history, and even today we have some sports games wherein the year are represented by Roman numeral. We have some buildings wherein the construction year, the year in which the buildings were constructed, are represented by Roman numerals. We have some games which are based on Roman numerals. We have some names, as in for iPhone X, that is iPhone 10. We have some sports equipments also wherein Roman numerals are printed. Okay, I hope it is clear with you, students. With this, we come to the end of the first chapter. I am sure you are completing your assignment parallelly with me. Hope to see you next in the next video. Till then, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.